welcome to my cooking channel. I'm Dorothy from Let's Eat Malaysian. Now, today I would like to teach you how to cook a very quick and easy Malaysian dish. I've plucked these from my garden. They're actually going to seed, and I just didn't want to waste a little bit of green leaves, so I've plucked this. Now this, you can actually find this from, if you go to the Asian markets, like if you're in Perth, you go to Canning Vale morning market on Sunday, you might find these. This is called, in Malaysia, we call it in Malay Bayam, or Chinese we call it yin choy. This is actually what we call the Malaysian spinach. And the way I'm going to teach you how to cook is, it's a good accompaniment, what we call it? A good accompaniment. It's a good dish to go with nasi lemak. This vegetable comes in two types. You can get it in green, or sometimes we call it the red spinach. You can cook it in the same way, but sometimes red spinach you can make a soup out of it. Now, if you were to get it from the markets, it comes in stalks like this, a long one. Now this one is because it has already started to seed. Usually you won't see these little flowers here. But the way to peel this is you take away the roots, you cut it off, and you start to peel based on the stem. Now the stem, if it is young, it is tender, you pluck the leaves this way. Now this is a bit old. Okay, you pluck, and as you pluck the leaves, as you get to the base, you will have to peel the outside of the skin because it's a bit woody. And if your stem is thick, now this is a small one, but in the event that your stem is thick and you can still break it, you peel out the outer skin, and then you will have to cut it into, make a deep cut in the middle so that when you cook, it will cook better. That is only for the thick stems. Now what we have for this dish, I've got one brown onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1/5 cube of prawn stock. I'm just using 3 banana prawns here. I'll have, I call this prawn in chili oil. They call it sambal prawns. The Tien brand, this is very good. Of course, salt and sugar to taste. And of course, oil. Okay, let's start. This is so simple and so easy to do, provided you can find that vegetable. Now, if you happen to go to any Asian shops and you see this vegetable, give it a go. I'll start with just finely chopping this prawn. Now this is 3 banana prawns, and I've already deveined. So I'm just going to vary in small bits, finely. I know it seems little, just 3 banana prawns, but it will give it its flavor. You're not actually going for the prawns, getting the flavor. So you put this aside. My method with all my prawns is to put some sugar on it. It makes the dish taste better. So about probably 1/3 teaspoon or about 1/2 teaspoon sugar. Now if you put the sugar on this prawn now, when you do your cooking, you don't need to add any more sugar in your dish. Now the onion, I'm going to thinly slice this onion, and it's going to be dropped into the dish before it gets scooped up into the plate or bowl. This will go into the end of the dish. Now, as you can see, the method of slicing the onion, what you do is put your knuckles against your knife. Now, what I'm using here is a cleaver, and this is good for slicing vegetables. And okay, this is the way to slice the onion. Put your knuckles against the knife so that when you slice, you won't slice off your fingers. Make sure you bend your fingers inwards and your knuckle is against the blade. This is dangerous if you're not sure how to do it. So just be careful when you're doing this. Now, if you think your onion is going to fall over, just tilt it to the other side and cut again. Okay, so this, and you can finally slice your 2 cloves of garlic. Actually, I will be chopping it now. So now, I'm using it like a lever as I chop it. Hold one end of your knife and then chop it. If you want to use a garlic press, is that what you call it? A garlic press? You can do so, but I normally like to chop my garlic up. And it is too little to use a blender, so this is the way I do it. If you want coarse, then you don't chop it too much. Well, if you get a few bits that are a bit big, it's okay, as long as generally the whole amount is more or less quite finely chopped. You don't need to be perfect, because once it goes into the dish, you won't be able to see the garlic. Okay, and you put this aside. Okay, we can move on to cook the dish. Now, as I was mentioning, this prawn in chili oil, there'll be some oil here, so I'm going to just put a little bit of oil to start off with. So you get about 2 tablespoons of oil, and it's on medium flame. Okay, heat it up. You start by browning your garlic first. Now, once it's a bit brown, you can then put your prawn inside. It browns quite quickly, and you already can smell the fragrance of the garlic coming out. Okay, now you put your prawn. Okay, give it a few stirs. It doesn't matter if your prawn is not cooking because it is cooking as it should. Right? And you add, this is pretty hot, this prawn in chili oil, so I'm going to use a teaspoonful. And a bit of belacan powder, just about a quarter teaspoon. And 3 dashes of salt. Well, if it's taste before you bring it up, and now you can put in your bayam or Malaysian spinach. Now the leaves will bring out the moisture, so you will see. Turn it as you go. You will see it getting soft. And the water is drying up as you go as well. See, it's getting soft already, the leaves, and it's changing color, getting a bit darker in color. This is a very quick dish. Okay, now it's more or less soft now, and you just add in your coconut milk. I have put like 1.5 cups with 6 tablespoons of coconut powder mixed in with warm water, and I'm going to put it in here. And let it boil. Now these leaves, they get soft pretty quick. So once the sauce start to boil, you give it, count to maybe 10. Then it'll be sort of done. Now wait for it to boil. Okay, as you turn, you can see it's all getting soft. I'm going to put, just put that, don't waste all the belacan that's sticking on the spoon. So, okay, I'll put in some, just a teeny bit of turmeric because it's strong, okay, just a little bit. Maybe a 1/8 of spoon. Okay, what you do now is you test for taste first before you put in your onions. Yeah. Now be careful when you're testing these things. I use a Chinese spoon. If you got a Chinese plastic spoon or a porcelain spoon, it'll be good. Well, this is a small plastic one. Just don't burn yourself. I think it needs a bit more salt. Now this is pink salt, so it's not as salty as the white one. Now if you would like to have more flavor, you can always put in MSG. That's optional. This will go in last. Okay. If you like it more hot, you can put in more of this chili prawn paste. Now, before you bring it up, it depends on the quantity of the spinach you're putting in. So I would suggest that before you bring it up, you take a bit of your spinach and see whether it's up to your liking, you know, whether it's still not, whether it's cooked or undercooked. Like me, I like it fully cooked but not soft, so I think this will do. And I can still chew on it. It's good. So the dish is actually done.